Hi everyone, my name is Crystal and welcome back to our YouTube channel, Bible Based Teens. Today is Tuesday, May the 12th, and this is our follow-up episode to our video from last week. And before we get started, I just want to say that if you like the content of this channel, go ahead and share, like, and subscribe so you can get our new content week after week. And don't forget, if you have any thoughts, place them in the comment section below so we can get the conversation started. So let's get to it. So our scripture verse from last week was 1 John chapter 3, verses 2 through 3. And the scripture reads, "Dear friends, now we are children of God, and what we will be has not yet been made known. But we know that when Christ appears, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. All who have this hope in him purify themselves just as he is pure." And so last week we said that this scripture can be broken down into two parts. The first part of the scripture emphasizes that although we know our present identity, we don't know what we will become in the future. John emphasizes that our present identity as believers are to be both friends to each other and children of God. And so in the second part of the scripture, John emphasizes that we will all be changed at the coming of Christ, which should be our main motivation for purification. And we said that this implies two things. One, that we should actively be looking for Christ to return. And two, that we will all be changed into a glorious new state of being, just as Christ was also changed after his resurrection. And so, as this week was passing by, I began to think about this scripture, especially in the middle of last week. Now, I'm not sure if any of you have heard as yet, but I was watching the news and they were saying that there's going to be some big announcements in the near future regarding some full disclosure of things like UFOs, aliens, stuff like that. Now, I'm not big into these things, but I did find it quite interesting that so many people, including faith-based leaders, conspiracy theorists, bloggers, YouTubers, so many people became so excited and frenzied about this particular announcement. And many people were saying they were happy because they believed in these things for quite some time, and they felt like this was the moment they had prepared for, and it validated their beliefs. And so now, I'm not here to speak on that in particular, but I found it very interesting that there was such a tremendous, immense amount of anticipation and excitement, and everyone, was speaking on the topic. And honestly, it got me thinking about our scripture from last week, because I said, we should be just as excited. We should be just as, just as excited, just as frenzied to know that Christ is returning soon. And, because he's coming back for us and we are all believers and we are his chosen people, we will all be changed when he comes. And so we'll have our glorious new bodies. And the reality that struck me is that we as believers should be way more focused and excited on things that are of God than the things that are happening in the world.